Well, joining me on the show is Dr. Olobo Lalobo. I almost called you Olobo Nyango. Dr. Olobo Lalobo, thank you so much for joining us, Doctor. And Dr. Rasha, who is from Merck Group.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Let's first talk about these numbers. 180 million couples, if you do the math, it's 1 in every 4 couples. That's very high.
Yes, compare also to a developed country like Europe and US, it's almost maybe 3-4 times more than they experience. Why? It's very easy to explain, because most of the causes of almost 85% of the infertility causes due to preventable causes, which is untreated infectious diseases. Like STDs, like unsafe abortion, like genital mutation, all these untreated infectious disease which girls or women don't know about it, don't go and treat it. They turn to infection to the tubes and the ovaries and the uterus, and they lose it, and of course it became infertile. So prevention is very important.
It's critical to this.
Yes.
But it's 1 in every 4 couples. This is developing countries. In sub-Saharan Africa, infertility is caused by those infections, about 85%.
Yes.
Well, let's be maybe more specific. Uganda.
Yes.
How bad is it?
The burden in Uganda is really centered on not only on numbers, but the complexity of the problem, because it is far beyond purely a medical problem. There's a social and economic impact as well. And then there is the imbalance between the man and the woman. We all know very well sexuality and reproduction is an equation, a simultaneous equation between the two. It takes 2 to tango.
Yes.
But when there is a problem, there is then this disconnection between the man and the woman. And of course the man is the head of the household. The man dictates the economics of the family, or even the nation. Determines the institutions and the policies and the associated culture.
So women are always blamed. Yeah.
So there you are. Women are left behind in this, and have been suffering silently for a long time. And we really want to highlight the expanded problem of infertility, focusing on enhancing and reducing stigma and the other associated consequences like divorce and violence.
Dr. Rasha, you've done a lot of work in Africa. What do you see happening as a result of these infertility cases? The women that you've seen, what do they go through?
Yes, I'll tell you. But before we talk about this, let me just briefly say what we are doing. As you know, Merck is the world's oldest pharmaceutical company. So we established 1668. All these years, over generations, responsibility is part of our DNA. So we are as well the leader of infertility management in the world. So that's why we see that our responsibility is to address this very sensitive issue, which is historical, because nobody else has addressed this issue before. What's happening is, it's the stigma. Infertility is stigma, and it should not be the case. We should change this culture. The women are suffering social discrimination, cultural discrimination. They're not invited even to the funerals because they are infertile. They just left alone, without food, without discrimination, violence, pushed to suicide, like the case of Bene, and sometimes killed. So we need to change that. Before even we talk about access to infertility care, we need to change the social perception of this infertility. And this is why Merck More Than a Mother campaign came to Africa, to say that women are more than mothers. We should not actually value the woman. If she's not mother, she's not a woman, she's not value, she's go somewhere, we don't want her. No, women are more than mothers. And even if they are infertile or they have problems, it's the technology can treat it, it's a condition, okay? And it's not only her problem, it is also male factor. So it's 50% of the causes of infertility due to male factor. So why only the woman is being blamed? for it, and being ostracized, and why is it's not a team approach? Why is a man and husband and wife, like the couple story we watched in the event, go together and get treatment together and support each other lovely with the community, with the family? So we want to raise this awareness about male infertility, about also prevention, about the social perception of women. Women is valuable asset for the whole society.
So we should be talking about the woman, not the mother.
Yes.
The definition should be expanded. So what's the experience like in Europe and America, where you have also worked? Do they still go through stigma, or it's only Africa where we see this as, if you don't have, well, the order is from school, marriage, after marriage, children, the rest, yes. And people expect you to get into.
I think this is an important question for all your viewers there. It's a sobering analysis, essentially, because in Europe, there is infertility. The causes are entirely different from the list of causes in Africa. In Africa, the main problem is that of infection, and it is preventable. Secondly, the Uganda and especially the rest of Africa, women are also following the general trend, which peaked in Europe several years ago. Women are staying longer in education, women are having families later. So there is infertility creeping up because women are having family much later when ovulation is not all that secure. So you could overcome infection problem, but you introduce another one by a change in having a family much later. So we want to nip that issue in the bud as well as we approach the social issue. Now, it brings me to the point of the social stigma issue. Whereas in Europe, there is a nice balance between the man and the woman. Here, the woman is at the bottom of the pit, so to speak, and everything is weighted against her. Even if she's now down underground, she will never come above ground. And that is the message we are trying to say today. Let everybody stay above ground. The man who is high up on the tower should climb down as well as come down. Because from an infertility perspective, the technology can now convert a man who is infertile into a happy father. So each side of the bargain is dealt with in terms of technology. What we want from him is now to give support, active support and love to his wife and partner.
We're going to look at those interventions that you're talking about, because many people may say, okay, you're talking about the solutions, what are they, how much do they cost, and it comes down to cost sometimes. I was very excited the other day when Dr. Ashley was talking about mobile, equipment to be used. But let's first take a look at the story of a lady called Benna. And the issue is that with infertility, it slowly evolves from a private affair to a public affair. Starts with you knowing, and then when people get to know it, you face this stigma. This is Benna, whose story is very, 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 very sad, but was able to get a few minutes about some of the things that she goes through because she's infertile. Take a look.
Torta ngado ketati ne umo kitatu tubeta na kere. Konyi sama etengo kade kilo kiti. Konyi borolo e sama utengo kere. Nemara ngokili nika amanya kiengor. Tunde itodole salo agiri je ngo. Mambo bitengo wali tueni. Ubo tuko ke kiko da ne itunga miribore. Balaba manko taberongin. Amusirinu eja ikitose mi polo koda. Ejare ngo kere. Ajari ngo kade etogo bon. Na yaw ne raber na soditi ubo kile ni ka konyo konya ba ka bangi na donge ngini tai mame bobo mama ke me da ne da mame ko to ijali muna bero ya na soditi na yaw no ara do bo ngone se yakitai ka de pare ya bero e potu ko ta bero ya mama ko ta tiro radisi som arengo ni se soma apa kina alimo kino kile ni ka ebe mambo banga ko to jo abuya nga pupa pipilo da abuya nga leme kia da tia matar apa kingin Abuya ngale mekia anele la titipo. Tia mata konyopo no peto rekeki. Tia ngama stekia tikwa nanga mami. Tamtu stungo klinika tia kotengo bara daera ngisi nyani kadongi nyekitengi sudiko nai boye anin tia stataka konye papaka bubu bongon do girtengo bala bero na mami e urie mami topolo nyani ere mami tia bero na kijuk sanin engo tiete dengo idwe tunga ni manyu take dengo apolo koto de iteji ko kitungenen a pipili ja tau ti oto mangina barengo dara sakita uruni koko tikwa nengo da je joko tikwa neni kade ko ketia nini tikwa neni kade ko keshomo ponengon tikwa neni kade ko kijana kinengo oponengon kati tikwa ni jana kinatanguni dwe nyoni ikecha uriaka reta wa pipilu joko nyama mete mebeti jaso.
That's better. And she can't have a child. But even away from that, the things that she goes through, you know, are quite depressing, and she wishes she could get a child. You're talking about care earlier, some of the things that can be done for couples who are not even brave enough to tell their immediate family members that they can't have children, but every time they go to social gatherings, they will have things like, can we help you? Can we go to the witch doctor to help? I know this herbalist. What is specifically the care that they can receive?
I think this would, the concept of looking at this is that these couples are in an open prison. They are imprisoned and encased in this social problem. They are hampered by inability to achieve their desire to have a family. And they are visibly looking like you and I, but inside they are cutting up. And this is the problem. How do you break through this open prison? How do you change the approach and the culture? And that has to come not from the patient, but it is from the community, from the family, from her husband, giving support
from media.
There is illness. And this, to me, is the essence of the issue. So the first contact is actually not me or my colleagues, the doctors. The first contact is the immediate family and friends of the person who is unwell. We come in at the secondary level to bring in the science, to bring in the support, to bring in the approach to enhance the social support that the couple should have through the established medical processes.
Right.
So I think that is really the nub of the issue, and I'm very glad that Merck has come with this campaign in order to galvanize this effort between the family, friends, the doctors, and nationally with the Ministry of Health.
Right.
And I think we ought to congratulate Merck for this very novel an idea, and for the commitment to run the campaign for a period of 1 year.
What are you committed to, Dr. Rasha?
Yes, I actually think that also health educators will have a role in this, because they are ambassadors for the community, you know. So when they talk about that infertility is not a taboo, it's nothing to be ashamed of, and it is a problem of men and women. It's not a problem, it's just a shared responsibility between men and women, between husbands and wives. This will change, plus the media, because I really think that media is a very, very important partner in this, because they reach every house through the FM, radios, TV, print, online. So if they talk about this and they raise awareness always about it's not a stigma, it's not a taboo, it's just like a flu, it's just like any disease, it can be treated, and even if it's not being treated, still you are a valuable person, and women should be valued properly. And of course, through, I mean, our campaign will be also raising awareness through the infrastructure of the health sectors, like the HIV prevention programs, mother and child programs, and maternal health programs. So we will have all these posters and the leaflet to raise awareness about this in the community. This infrastructure is very strong and raising education properly, so we will be part of it. We don't have to create a new infrastructure.
Yes.
These people are there already, they're commuting and they are communicating with people. So it's easy to integrate some messages to change. And of course, it's a cultural thing. It will take some time, but I think media, if they focus on this, it will be significant change. And we will change it. Right. We can.
I like the tagline. Let's create,
a culture shift. We can create a culture shift.
Go to this website and to this YouTube channel and watch some of the videos. Not just from women, but from men who have secondary infertility and have gone and been treated. Men, instead of marrying 10 wives, those children may not be yours actually. There are so many cases where, you find that even the children you have outside are not your children. So support your wife, support your husband, your country. It's time to create that culture shift. In under 1 minute, there are interventions like IVF. What are the other things that can be done for couples?
I think the major intervention is that of prevention via public health measures, education, early treatment when there is infection, and then a follow-up of that. And when that has failed, intervention will come by way of support in terms of conventional fertility treatment, and if that is not possible, then you use the high-powered technology, assisted reproductive technology. So there is a lot of support there, the infrastructure, the training necessary, and in this regard, Merck is also helping with the training of embryologists to support this cultural shift stigma. So that is an additional commitment for Merck, for Uganda, and for the African region.
We shall continue this conversation online. Just hashtag morning at NTV. You can tweet me at Brian Mlondo, Merck and Mothers. That's MERCK and Mothers. And let's talk about how we can create this cultural shift today. We can definitely find some medicine for this infertility that has been going on for a very long time. That's your everyday life this morning. Coming up, the sports update with Darren and Derek, powered by Star Times.